Natalie, you know that sometimes it can be a blessing and or a curse to give recognition to like organizations and volunteer groups and stuff that help
Yeah.
you, and places like Mission of the Dirt Road, which is I guess fairly new and fairly small, and they are trying to get the word out that we're here helping our community, and of course they've High Ridge, which is kind of one of the financially more poor communities, and they've also helped you with like the roll-in shower, and I think there might have been like a member there that donated some money as well.
Hmm.
But on the opposite end of the spectrum, there can be like larger organizations that don't really need the recognition. They're already established. So what would you like to say?
So, some of you may have noticed that over the last few weeks, I have stopped using the volunteers' names or the church's name that is helping me in this whole project. And the reason is because I was asked by them specifically to stop tagging them like on Facebook and stop using their names and giving credit to them. This really, really confused me and bothered me. I didn't why or what I did wrong per se or that kind of thing. I was seriously trying to recognize them for helping me because I thought that's being polite. I thought that's what should be done. So that's why I was giving acknowledgement. And the answer I got
When
the
she
answer
asked why can't I use the name, the answer
was kind of vague. It was just like, just tell people wonderful people are helping you out,
from the community,
which is great.
because they didn't want recognition. So
But I still didn't know why I couldn't use their name, so I was a little. No, I was a lot hurt and bothered by this. Because I didn't really understand, like, what I had done wrong. So,
we kind of wondered if it was other church members that were like complaining because Natalie is not a member of the church, and maybe they were saying something like, "Oh, why are you helping non-members when some of us members need help with doing similar things." So and there's a reason why I'm saying that. Natalie does not want to say it, but somebody messaged Natalie when they meant to message somebody else and said, "What is this person using the church name and your name to beg for money?" So obviously there was something there, but here's the thing is, and I'm going to talk about the TV20 interview as well. Natalie needed the church and the TV20 interview to help verify that she wasn't a scammer. And a lot of people that were potential donors actually called the preacher or deacon or whatever it is up there and said, "Hey, is this woman for real? Is she a scammer? Is the church really helping?" And so the church was verifying Natalie's story, and then the TV20 interview. So I mean, if she never used them as a reference, and if she never got the TV20 interview, We've seen a small influx of donations come in. For example, after the TV20 interview, some people donated materials after the TV20 interview, and obviously a lot of people donated materials. And I don't know how much difference in money donations we would have gotten, but I'm gonna guess probably half of the donations.
There's still a little bit of difference, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it probably, we would have been nowhere near where we are now, like getting close to the finish line, without if we lost half the donations based on not being able to verify the story, and I know this is kind of long in the tooth, but we're just kind of having a conversation here.
So it's become apparent that mostly through social media platforms like Facebook, people are quite familiar with my story. And although I'm thinking it's good news, share the good news, it's a wonderful feel-good story, some people are looking at it and seeing, oh, this church is there to help others. Let me get in on this and ask for help.
So Natalie never asked this church for help. She didn't. At this time, she was in Voc Rehab, which is a place that does like job and employment training and stuff, and getting you ready for employment.
Once again, I have a freaking master's degree. I'm not some dumb person begging for help.
And also, she still is, I guess, on a waiting list that's like 8 to 10 years long with the Centers for Independent Living to get a wheelchair, ramp built. So this is why.
And yes, we've tried HUD. We've tried other resources, like every community resource out there I've gone through. I spent thousands of hours trying to figure out how to do things on my own.
So as I said, Natalie did not reach out to any churches or anybody for help. It was actually a church volunteer that reached out to Natalie saying, I have wood, I have supplies to do your wheelchair ramp.
And he's my angel. He will be my angel.
And apparently these were supplies that were probably free, that were just, excess stuff from other projects the church or somebody might have had. So there was no money involved, maybe except for some screws or a random 2x4 or something to fix her wheelchair ramp up. And then, it was discussed with, this person and some people that weren't involved with all of the GoFundMe stuff that said, do some GoFundMe, some crowdsourcing or whatever it's called. And so a lot of people may not get it, but Natalie didn't get all this stuff for free. It didn't just, the church
no, by no
didn't provide
means.
that. I mean, they couldn't. If everybody asked for the amount of stuff that Natalie has had to do fundraising for, they would be broken in, a month.
And I've treated it just like I would be doing fundraising for, when I worked at Arts and Mass, and we did a lot of fundraising. So I treated it like I was doing fundraising for an organization, and it was to benefit my life. But at the same time, I worked for it. I worked hard for it. Dan's worked for it. We've all worked for it. Those volunteers have spent hours upon hours of life away from their friends and their family.
And that's another point is, I don't know how much volunteer work each one of them was done every week or every month, but In the last 3 weeks, these volunteers have been working pretty much every Saturday for the last, like I said, 3-4 weeks, and working overtime building wheelchair ramps. One of the members of, I better not say the name, I just about messed up. One of the members of this church said, now this person, this church has been known as the person in the church to go to if you need a wheelchair ramp. So it's, you know, it might have took a while, you know, a lot of posting her story and the TV20 interview and all that, but now it's coming back to the church, and it seems like it's overwhelming them. So as we said, Natalie did not go to the church. The church came to her, and she called, you know, this person, this main volunteer or whatever, kind of like her angel. And I guess our request to everyone that goes back and they find like an old post and say, this is the church, this is the person doing this, find your own angel, I guess, you know. And this sounds snooty or whatever, but it, you know, just like the Centers for Independent Living, they were a good, you know, organization until they got overwhelmed, you know, with like a backlog of 8 or 10 years, you know. And so we don't really want to overwhelm the community, you know. Go to another church, go, you know, to another organization, try to
spread the love, go elsewhere. Like, it's what, I mean, they're right. Churches are supposed to be servants of the Lord. So yes, we're supposed to help our communities, but there's more than just one church, and
there are hundreds around here.
I feel heavy-hearted that I caused this, that this was my fault. I brought this onto this church, so I deeply apologize, and now I'm gonna start crying. But I deeply apologize, because that was not my intent. My intent was, I was so overwhelmed and blown away by the generosity and love of community members. I'm sorry. Then I was just blown away. I still blown away to this day. People are still donating and giving things, and I'm just like, wow. For me, what I do to deserve this kind of love.
And this is kind of why we're having a conversation versus just Natalie, because there are some things I probably touched upon that she doesn't agree with me, like, bringing out, like, you know, there is obviously a big need for wheelchair ramps and stuff, and if the Centers for Independent Living and Voc Rehab and stuff isn't filling that need, then we definitely need more people. And you just go to any church, any medium-sized church or whatever, and say, I have a little extra money, or I have some, you know, 2x4s that are in good shape. I want to donate this to somebody that needs it, you know. If you don't need it for your church members, reach out to another church, give them these supplies, you know, donate some money, and, you know, help the community, like,
spread the love.
Yeah, help the community, because there's obviously a big need for wheelchair ramps, and like doorways need to be widened, and bathrooms that need to be accommodated, bedrooms, you know, everything like that. So thank you for watching. Hope you got through the whole video.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.